Now, once I start the slides, I can't see your comments. So, if you can't hear me, just raise your hand and I will check my mic again. But if you have any questions, we will have a Q&A session after all the slides, so don't worry, and I will be sharing the slides as well, so no worry about taking screenshots. Alright, let's get started. My name is Ethan Kim and I am a technician here at Suprema. And today I'll be sharing about the new features in BioStar 2.3. So I'll first begin introducing the exciting new features in BioStar 2.3. When we have gone through all of that, I will mention the upgrade cautions, since there are some big changes in the new version of BioStar. Then I will share some online resources that may be very helpful for you. Following that, I will summarize what we went through and receive any questions regarding today's topic. Let me first go over the topics I will cover in the new features section. First of all databases in BioStar 2 will now be a MariaDB. Custom privileges can now be provided for BioStar 2 operator users. In the new version, Videophone can be used with BioStation A2 if you have an SIP-based VoIP server. BioStar 2 has overhauled its Wiegand car features, which I will explain in the coming slides. You can now configure a door in BioStar 2 for automatic doors. User CSV import now has convenient automated features. And you can now configure sounds for BioStar client alerts. And finally, the global menu now has a responsive user interface. BioStar's database was originally a SQLite database, which was an embedded relational database management system. It had a portable and small database, but it did not allow performance improvement and multiple connections to the database. Hence, we decided to change the database from SQLite to a client-server-based database called MariaDB, so that smoother database integration and increased performance would be possible. Sorry about that. Note that in BioStar 2.2.1, there were two separate databases, as the AC database was a SQLite database and the TNA database was a MariaDB. In BioStar 2.3, both databases will be MariaDB. Please be aware that if you have had any third-party database integrations with SQLite before, you would have to make some changes for it to work with MariaDB. Moving on, starting version 2.3, you can configure BioStar 2 operators privileges. The buttons for the operating level was there in the previous versions, but they weren't actually clickable. Now you can actually configure, as required, up to 32 custom levels. Let me show you the user interface in BioStar. So to set this up, you would go to Setting, then Account, and then click Add Custom Level. And now you can change the settings right here. So for instance, if I wanted to make a user that can only control time and attendance, let's call this TNA admin. Now he would need at least read privileges for the user, and we'll need all of this and edit privileges, and then you'll add a user who will have this right and click apply, and there you have a TNA admin. Next, with BioStation A2, you can use the Videophone feature. If you have a session initiation protocol, that's the SIP, based VoIP server with IP private branch exchange, which is called IP-PBX. We do have instructions on installing and configuring an SIP server for A2 if you need them. Just send us an email if you require that. Please note that it requires installation of a Linux OS such as CentOS and Ubuntu, and you will have to install and configure asterisk and free PBX. The end client can be on Windows, iOS, Android, or Linux based on what application you choose to use. Now this is the interphone configuration page shown in the device menu that can be done on BioStar. Note again that you would also need the SIP server to use this function. So this menu is only shown for A2 because only A2 has this VoIP service for now. So if you go and click on A2 in BioStar and go to the bottom advanced menu, is this new section right here that says interphone, and you configure it according to your SIP server configurations. Right, let's move on. Cards with facility codes could be read, but it was not separated into different card number and facility code when shown on BioStar 2, which was different from BioStar 1 and caused some confusion to those who migrated from BioStar 1 to BioStar 2. It was calculated and presented as a single string of numbers in BioStar 2. Well, now BioStar 2 can read it separately. As shown in the image here, you can configure the facility code field in the Wiegand format page. And the facility code will be read separately from the card ID when you read the card. You can also enter these numbers manually as shown in the image on the right. BioStar 2 devices can now support multiple Wiegand input-output formats. You can store up to 15 formats per device. This means that one device can read all different formats of cards at the same time. Hence, you can now use Suprema devices in sites that uses multiple formats without any hassle. So I can show you this on a W2. If you go to W2, there is this option for Wiegand card format, and you can click on multiple card formats as desired and click apply. You can also register users with these multiple formats. So I think I did the first three. So, and then you can read a card, but I don't have my device next to me, so I can't test it right now. But see, if you have a format that is not set by your device, it gives this warning sign. So I did the first three, so if you look at it, it's not showing the warning sign because that is configured. Okay. Next, configuration of a door sensor in BioStar 2 was originally tailored for hinge doors. Now you may use the door setup for automatic doors as well. When you use the door sensor option in BioStar, the lock locks when the door sensor sends a signal saying that the door is closed. The reason why it was designed this way was because, for instance, if the door open time was 3 seconds, the bolt shouldn't lock when the door is still open according to the sensor. If an automatic door is used with a door sensor with the same logic as the above door sensor, the door will never be locked, because for an automatic door, the lock has to lock first for the door to close, and after the door is locked, the door sensor sends a door close signal. Hence, if you switch the automatic door feature on, the relay operates only based on user authentication and ignores the status of the door sensor. Automatic field mapping is provided with the CSV import feature, and you can edit the necessary fields if you see an error in the mapping. You can also configure if duplicate user data should be left as is or overwritten. BioStar2's system alert only appeared as a notice on the screen, and this made it difficult for the administrator to see the alert. Now you can set a sound that runs when alert pops up. So I can show you this menu, BioStar. So you will first have to add the alarm sound in the preference menu, and then you'll be able to add it on the alert menu. So we go to preference here, and then I already added a sound, but you could click add, put a sound name, choose your file, but I found out there is no sound file in this computer yesterday. So sound files must be a .wav file or MP3 format, and maximum size would be 10 megabytes. So anything below 10 megabytes. So since we already have one here, I will move to the alert menu. So this new icon with the alarm clock means that a sound is configured. So let me remove this first and show you. So on fire alarm zone, I'm going to add a sound that I added on preference. I have a message for it. And then there's 3 options to do this. You can make it go for once and then loop until acknowledge. Loop until acknowledge means that when you click OK on the alert message that comes up, it will stop the sound. You click apply, and then that alarm clock shows up. And by the alert message, I mean the messages that, wait, let me move this a little. Messages appear, yes, these messages that you have set up. Okay, next, you can now use BioStar 2 on devices with low resolutions, such as laptops and netbooks, without any problems. BioStar 2 will now automatically identify the web browser's resolution and change the global menu size accordingly. Previously, the menu size did not change, and people with low resolutions always had the question of, where is my TNA button? And the reason why they couldn't see it is because they had to scroll down. So, but now there will be no such issue. So let's check this browser. Now we have all the icons on the left, but when I lower the size, the icons disappear, so we could just fit in the menu names right there. So when you enlarge it again, whoops, the icons will appear. Cool, right? And then now I'm done with introducing all the new features, so I'll share some cautions. There are several things you should be aware of before you upgrade your BioStar 2 to version 2.3. Since the AC database is now a MariaDB, if you had a database link program you used in previous versions for your AC database, it will not work anymore. You will have to develop a new program based on the new MariaDB. If you need the database table for the new Maria database, please send us an inquiry to tech@supremainc.com. And please remember to back up your database before upgrading BioStar 2 in case you run into any issues during the upgrade. The automatic server upgrade, which was possible because of SQLite, has been removed since the AC database is now a MariaDB. There are a few reasons why we chose to remove this feature. First, since MariaDB can be integrated with other external databases, upgrading MariaDB automatically without supervision of an IT administrator may cause unexpected issues. Second, MariaDB will take a long time to upgrade than an embedded DB like SQLite, so long unexpected downtime may cause confusion to the users. And in order to use the new multi-Wiegand and facility code feature and the A2's VoIP feature, all your firmware will have to be up to date. Now this is all included in your official BioStar installation. So what you would have to do is just go to the device menu and click on firmware upgrade, and then the firmware should be available. So you just click on that and it will start the upgrade. Click yes. It starts the upgrade. And also, if you use the TNA feature, you would have to rebuild the time card once you upgrade BioStar because the TNA rules have changed. I don't think, oh, I did set this up. So you would have to rebuild the time card and update the report. Like that. Okay, now we'll go through with the online resources that you can use. Many of you are already aware of this because we include the link in each of our Tech@Suprema Inc. emails, but some are still not aware, so sharing you this information. The administrator's manual for BioStar 2 is included in your installation. So if you just click on help here, you have an admin manual which has information about all the features in BioStar 2. It also includes the revision notes if you didn't know. So BioStar 2.3 has its new features, and it tells you which firmware you have to be using for all the new features. Also has previous versions. There's also a search bar, so if you're curious about a function, you could just search them up. For instance, there's a lot of things on the device menu. So let's say I want to know what sensor sensitivity is, and I'll search sensor sensitivity. And here we have it. Sensor sensitivity is you can set a sensitivity level of the fingerprint recognition sensor. It gives you more information. Also, the UI is usually on here to give you a guide of what it is. Then, moving on, we also have our knowledge base. kbsupremainc.com. Also gives you the new feature guide. So let's check it out. kbsupremainc.com, and then we'll go to our knowledge center. And if you go to the system configuration, gives you a lot of information about how to configure things. Trigger in action. I uploaded recently. So you could always use that for your guide. And if you look at fundamental BioStar2 features, it has all of the new feature guides. So the recent one is 2.3. If you click on this, you can download a very pretty PDF with a guide of all the new features. So all the things I mentioned today, MariaDB, custom admin, A2 Videophone, Wiegand card, etc. It's all included here as well. So yes, please use these resources. You also have a FAQ, frequently asked questions, and if you click on these, you'll see more. You can just search, let's say server mode. You can just search these items as well. So that's the knowledge base, and now I will recapture what I shared today. Okay, starting with the new feature, all databases in BioStar 2 will be MariaDB by default. Custom privileges can now be customized. Videophone can now be used with BioStation A2 if you have SIP-based VoIP servers. You can now store multiple Wiegand formats on BioStar 2 devices and also enter and read facility codes. Automatic doors can now be configured. User CSV import has convenient automated features, and you can now configure sounds for BioStar client alerts. And finally, the global menu now has a responsive user interface. I also went through the upgrade cautions. Please note that your DB-Link program with SQLite will no longer work on version 2.3 because the AC database will be a MariaDB. Also make sure that you upgrade all your firmware to the most recent firmware to use the new features. And that's all, and now I will take any questions you have about BioStar 2. So you could just ask them on the chat screen, and please send the message to all participants so that all the other people can read it as well. Okay, please ask a question. If you have any. I see some questions on Q&A. Jamie asked, could we use Avaya or Cisco PBX with the VoIP? The only instructions we have with the VoIP server is the SIP server with IP PBX, and I think that is the only thing we tested it for. So you should probably use it with that. We can't ensure anything with any other software or protocol. And we have a guide for it, so if you need it, just send us an email to tech@supremainc.com. Jamie also asked, how can we change the language to the devices? You have to translate the resource file. So what you do is, well, you have to request us the resource file, and we will provide you a resource file which you can translate. And then what you do is you will update the resource file in the custom with the strings, and then that will change the language when you set it to custom. So just send us an email to tech@supremainc.com. We'll send you the resource file and let us know what device you will be using. Okay, next questions is yes, Jamie, just send us an email to tech@supremainc.com and we will send you the resource file which you can translate. Okay, David Montana asked the process to import database from 1.x. So if you want to migrate from BioStar 1 to BioStar 2, we have a database migration tool, but it only worked to up to BioStar 2.2.2. So what that would mean is if you use that tool, you have to have your BioStar 1 on like BioStar 1.9, and then use the migration tool to upgrade to 2.2.2. And then if you install 2.3 on top of the 2.2.2, you would have successfully migrated to 2.3. Another easier method would be if you are using BioStar 1.91 and you are using a second generation device such as BioStation 2 or BioStation A2. If you upload all the users in BioStar 1.91 to those devices, and then after you go to your BioStar 2 server, and then you connect your A2 or BioStation 2 and then upload all the users from that device to the server, then you would have successfully migrated all your users to BioStar 2. The DB migration tool doesn't migrate all the logs anyway, so it would be the same thing. But yeah, it sounds pretty complicated. I mean, if you just hear it for the first time. So if you want a more clear instruction, just send us an email, then I can give you a more detailed instructions. But please note that for the entry-level devices, you would have to upgrade the firmware to 2.x level so that you could use it in BioStar 2. And this isn't all the devices. These will be devices that have newer hardware called the OC4 sensors. And then let's see, you could see which devices are compatible for BioStar 2 by going to the products device comparison page. Now if you go to compatibility, you can see that some devices work for BioStar 1 and 2, some only work for 1. So this device, I believe, is Face Station. It only works for BioStar 1, so it's not compatible for BioStar 2. But let's see, BioLightNet can be compatible for BioStar 1 or BioStar 2, but you need a firmware upgrade. That it's an upgrade, not just an update. You'll need a tool to upgrade it, and you will need the OC4 sensor, which is the newer sensors. The old hardware cannot upgrade. But if you need the tool to upgrade your devices, just send us an email to tech@supremainc.com and we'll be able to provide you. So do we have any other questions? Yeah, we still have plenty time to answer more questions if you have any. But if there's anything that's not answered here, you could always ask through our email address. David Montana asked, the doors can open from the soft. So are you asking if we can control the doors from BioStar? Yes, we can. So if I have a door, let me set it up first. Click apply. Go to monitoring. Go to door status. Then you click on this. Then it gives you the option to open. See how it unlocked. And then it locks again. Clear the alarm, clear the APB, manual lock, manual unlock. Difference between these two is it remains locked. So it doesn't open after a few seconds. It will just remain that way. If you do it this way, it's continuously open. But now if you release that, these two options are removed. Yes, it's removed, so it locks again automatically after the door open time, which was, I think, 3 seconds. Yes, 3 seconds, it closes. That's how you configure a door and open and lock it through the software. Okay, do we have any other questions? Well, if you don't have any burning questions, I think I'll end in 2 minutes. Once again, I will be sharing the slides through email, and I will also be sharing a recorded video of this session, so you can use it as your resource, and you could also share it with any of your clients if that's necessary for training. Yes, so I guess that's all the questions. So we could end it here now. Alright, thank you for all your participations. Thank you for being attentive. We will see you in the next webinar or at SGPP next week if you guys are coming. Thank you.